Subscribe now for more stories that reveal the dark truths behind love, betrayal, and the choices we make. The notification on my phone made my chest tighten. It wasn't the sound itself, it was the content. Her group chat lighting up with laughter emojis, beach pictures, and hotel bookings. Girls' trip next month. Can't wait. I stared at the screen, my stomach twisting. That same smile she gave me every morning, the one I had trusted blindly, was now plastered in messages meant for them. Not for me. I tried to breathe. Tried to convince myself I was overreacting. Maybe it was harmless. Maybe she just needed a break from work. Maybe. But the sudden pang of unease clawed at my mind, refusing to let go. I swiped through the chat again, noticing how often one name popped up. Just one. And her laughter emoji followed every single message from him. I remembered the night she came home late. She smelled of perfume, not hers. I asked casually about the scent. She laughed it off too easily. You're imagining things, babe. Just relax. Her words dripped sweetness, but her eyes flickered, guilty and evasive. I tried to dismiss it. I wanted to dismiss it. Love is stubborn like that. Love makes us blind to the whispers of betrayal until they scream in our ears. That night, sleep refused me. I imagined their conversations. Innocent? Maybe. Or maybe not. My mind raced through every late night, every unexplained silence, every small lie that I had rationalized. Denial is a cunning thing. It wraps around you like a warm blanket while your home burns. I watched the ceiling fan spin, listening to its hypnotic whir, and realized I hadn't truly known her at all. The next day, I made a decision. A cold, precise decision. She wanted a trip? Fine. I would cancel everything. The flights, the hotel reservations, the excursions, every carefully planned indulgence. I did it silently, methodically. And then, just as calculated, I sent her the screenshot. The message arrived while she was at work. All set. Refunds processed. Have fun with your girls. I expected anger, tears, begging. Instead, there was silence. Hours of it. My phone buzzed finally with a single line. Why would you do this? Are you trying to ruin my life? I stared at her words, feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and dread. The satisfaction of reclaiming control, of exposing the fault lines I had long sensed but never named. And dread, because the truth I was chasing was not in the trip, not in the cancellation. It was in her eyes, her texts, the subtle way she leaned toward him in photos, the whispered giggles I could almost hear over the phone. I needed answers. And so, I followed the breadcrumbs she left. A text from him, sent late at night, that she didn't notice me reading. A tagged photo on social media that vanished within hours. Patterns emerging like cracks in glass. The trust we had built together was brittle, and I realized how easily it shattered. When she came home, I didn't wait for explanations. I confronted her, voice shaking, heart hammering against ribs that felt too fragile. Who is he? I asked, holding up my phone, the evidence glaring back at her like a spotlight. Her face twisted, not with remorse but with surprise. Not at the question, but at the confrontation. She opened her mouth, searching for words, any words that could soothe the storm. It's not what you think, she said, but her eyes betrayed her. Hesitation, fear, guilt, an entire confession wrapped in silence. I felt my chest tighten, my mind unravel. Love, once a sanctuary, had become a battlefield of secrets. I wanted to hate her. I wanted to flee. But a part of me, the foolish part that still clung to memory and warmth, ached to understand, to forgive. Forgiveness is optional, my inner voice whispered, bitter and cold. Trust is earned, not given freely. Hours passed. Words collided like waves in a storm. She explained, and in that explanation I felt the texture of betrayal, soft, insidious, human. It wasn't the explosion of violence I imagined, but the slow, grinding erosion of intimacy. And then the twist, one I didn't anticipate. He wasn't just a friend. Not just a distraction. He had been subtly manipulating her, convincing her that I didn't appreciate her, that we were drifting apart. And she, lonely and vulnerable, had allowed herself to listen. I didn't forgive her. Not fully. Not yet. But I realized the story wasn't simple. Betrayal isn't a villain or a hero. It's a spectrum of human weakness, choices, fear, and desire. I sent the screenshot not to punish, but to wake us both to the truth. Love alone is not enough when honesty is absent. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the silence that now hummed between us. She slept beside me, unaware that my trust had fractured irreparably. The refunds had been processed. The girls' trip would never happen. But the lessons lingered, heavier than any ticket or hotel booking could ever weigh. Love and betrayal are twins, inseparable. One dances lightly, the other stalks, quietly, waiting for the perfect moment. And when it strikes, there is no rewind. Only the raw aftermath, the slow, inevitable reckoning of the heart. Subscribe now to follow stories of love, deception, and the fragile line between trust and betrayal.